गणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Let us take in Shivashakti through 5 deep breaths. Om Shivashakti Om Shivashakti Shivashakti Om Shivashakti Om Shivashakti त्वं ब्रह्मा सृष्टिकर्ता च त्वं विष्णुः परिपालकः त्वं शिवदोऽनन्तः सर्वसंहारकारकः त्वमीश्वरो गुणातीतो ज्योतिरूपः सनातनः प्रकृतिशश्च प्राकृतः प्रकृतेः परः नानारूपविधाता त्वं भक्तानां ज्ञानहेतवे येषु रूपेषु यत्प्रीतिः तत्तद्रूपं बिभर्षि च Bhaktir Mahesha Pushkaramavasanti Kadambineeva Kurute Paritoshavarsham Sampurito Bhavati Yasya Manastadakaha Tajjanma Sasyamakilam Sapalam Jananyat. So today we are coming into yet another set of shlokas on Shiva Bhakti, which shows various facets of Bhakti. In this one, Bhaktir Mahesha Pada Pushkaram Avasanti Kadambiniva Kurute Paritosha Varsham. The Kadambiniva Bhakti, like the rain-bearing dark clouds. Avasanti, it has reached, it is staying, it is residing in Mahesha Pada Pushkaram, vast sky like Shiva Pada, the lotus feet of Shiva. So, Shiva Pada is so vast like the sky, Pushkara. In that, Bhakti as the rain-bearing dark cloud is residing. What does it do? Sampurito bhavati yasya manastatakah. That rain-bearing cloud, Bhakti, is kurute paritosha varsham. It is showering continuously the rain of bliss, joy, happiness, which is brimming, filling, and overflowing in the lake called Manas. So, Manas Tatakah, it is, Manas is like the lake. It is filled with that rain, which is Paritosha Varsha, the joyful rain, the rain of bliss. It is overflowing, Sampurito Bhavati. Just visualize it. Because of which Tad Janma Sasyam Akhilam Saphalam Cha Nanyate. Tad Janma Sasyam. And the Janma, the life, which springs up like Sasya, like a small sapling, and then it grows into plant, Sasya. That becomes Saphala. So it means because the life is fed with the rain of bliss for its nourishment, it is growing, and Akhila Sapalam, whatever incidents it is going through, whatever relationship it is having with the world, with the life, is becoming Saphala. Chananyat, nothing else. It cannot be anything else but Saphala. So that Sasya, which is called Janma, Manava Janma, Bhakta Janma, is like the Sasya, like the plant which is bearing the fruits, which is Saphala, nourishes, sweet, amrita-like fruit. Nanyate, nothing else. So, this verse shows to what extent one should have at least the taste of bhakti, devotion. Once they have the taste of bhakti, it can be starting with bhakti towards something which is worldly. For example, if I am learning violin, mridanga, or any fine arts, if I have the bhakti towards learning that, it gives me the taste of what bhakti is. Because that learning process is with this secular field. It can be fine arts, art, swimming, sports, studies, cooking. There are so many things. When we show devotion in what we are doing, it gives us the taste of what devotion is. And as the devotion keeps increasing, the focus, faith in what I am doing, slowly it understands all these are secular things, temporary things. It will end once I lose the body and the mind. So if I hang on to the Lord Shiva, who is Atma, Parama Atma, it is never ending. Bhakti will keep growing and growing and growing. And it goes to the extent of reaching the vast sky like Shivapada. And it will be showering the rain of bliss, and the life would become purposeful. Saphala. People who have not tasted what bhakti is, their life will be always nishpala. Without any fruit, they'll be just dragging the life. So bhakti is very, very important. Mahesha pada pushkaram. Pushkaram, here it means sky. That sky is Dharakasha. Dharakasha is very small, thin and very subtle, which is there within everyone. It is very small, thin and subtle. If I have to understand with this worldly brain, it doesn't even feel that it is there. To that extent, it is sukshma. But once we enter that Dharakasha, it is very, very vast, so that it is so vast that it holds even the sky, the physical bhuta, sky, one of the Panchabhutas. That sky also is within the Dharakasha. So to that extent, it is very vast. And that Dharakasha is very much in every being. There stays Shivapada. In that Dharakasha, bhakti is like the thick, dark, rain-bearing cloud. When it starts showering the rain, naturally the mind will overflow with joy. It will be in that constant joyful state, because of which it will be showering the bliss throughout the body as well. And because of this reaction in the body and the mind will be able to see the world which is outside with the same bliss and joy. So, the mind's interaction with the outer world would be always positive, purposeful, and everyone gets attracted to taste that phala as interaction. So that person will be emitting the joy which he is feeling within. See, that is what Shankaracharya is doing through expressing his experience through this verse. And even after so many years, now we are sitting and enjoying that shloka which he has shared with us. How he is attracting us, our mind, towards that bhakti which he experienced. That he is sharing with us. And Dharakasha, as I said, even Devi is called Dharakasha Rupini. So here, Mahesha Pada Pushkara. So that Dharakasha has taken the form as Shiva Pada. Bhakti Kadambini Avasanti. So, thick, dark cloud is always Mangalakara. And Bhakti is always Mangalakara. It brings auspiciousness. And the mind receives that auspiciousness in the form of blissful rain. Kurute Paritosha Varsham. Here, bhakti can be shown in so many ways. Even serving the people, serving the animals, plants, the universe in different ways is also Shiva Bhakti, because Shiva is there as consciousness in every atom of this universe. So whatever we are serving will also be giving the same kind of happiness. Out of joy, just if we help someone or take care of a plant, when it gives back the fruit or a flower, how happy we feel. When we help a person, that person's face blossoms with happiness, with gratitude. That is Paritosha Varsha. So when I'm fed with these kind of reactions from everywhere, won't my life become Saphala? Because I'm kept in the state of joy, joy, joy through serving the whole universe as bhakti. So we can explore bhakti in so many ways. That is where Shivanandalahari is helping us to grow, to grow. If we don't have the bhakti in our life would become like Banjara Bhumi. That Banjara Bhumi is barren land where there can never be any plantation. When there is no plants, how can we expect any fruit? It becomes nishpala. So if we have that bhakti in our life, naturally There we can see the prosperity. बुद्धिस्थिरा भवितुम् ईश्वरपादपद्मम् सक्तावधो विरहिणीव सदा स्मरन्ति सद्भावना स्मरण दर्शन कीर्तनादि सम्मोहितेव शिवमन्त्र जपेन विन्ते. This is another phase of bhakti. Buddhisthira bhavitum Ishvara pada padma sakta. Ishvara pada padma sakta, one who is highly attracted, one who has that love for Ishvara pada padma, the lotus feet of Ishvara, Shiva. Vadhur virahiniva sada smaranti. Just like a newly wedded woman or a lover who is separated from her husband or the lover, she will be the virahini and she will be always thinking, remembering her husband or lover. Like that, this Ishvara Pada Padma Sakta goes through remembering Shiva, Shiva, Shiva all the time. What does he do? Sadbhavana Smarana Darshana Kirtanadi. So what will that virahini, one who is separated from her lover or husband, does? All her thoughts will be on him. Sadbhavana, all her thoughts, remembering all good things she did previously. Smarana, and she remembers all those nice moments with him. Darshana, and in her mind, she keeps seeing him. Kirtana, and she keeps talking about him, or in memory of him, sing the songs which would match with what she was experiencing with her lover. In the same way, Pada Padma Sakta, the devotee or the seeker of Shiva, would Sadbhavana, he would always keep his mind focused on Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. And Smarana. Now and then, again and again, the memory of Shiva would keep coming. Darshana, and visualizing and seeing Shiva in the mind. And Kirtana. If anyone starts any conversation, hello, he would start hello, and the next line would be something connected with Shiva. Or any conversation would end up with Shiva. That is Kirtana. Sammohiteva, and that virahini, Sammohiteva, because she's so much into thinking, all her actions being oriented towards the husband or the lover who is separated from her. she becomes deluded. She forgets what is happening around her. What she is supposed to do in the world, she forgets. Because the mind is going back again and again to him. In the same way, even the seeker, because his mind is so engrossed in Shiva Bhakti, the worldly life will become sammohita, somewhat hazy and deluded. Shiva mantra japena dinte. To buddhi sthira bhavitum. To keep that buddhi, the intelligence, buddhi, viveka, that the whole world, interaction in this world is happening because of Shiva. Shiva is the source. Shiva in me is the one who is making me work, act, think. And Shiva is the final destination of me. So everything is Shiva and it's happening through him. So I have to firmly keep my buddhi in Shiva consciousness. Buddhi sthira bhavitum. To make that buddhi sthira in Ishvara pada. The seeker who is asakta, he will go through all these states. How will he do that? How will he make it firm on Shiva? Through Shiva mantra japa. This many of us have experienced while doing the mandalas of Lahari. So everyone who was doing the mandala, they would come back and tell the same sentence. I was doing the mandala throughout the day. The shloka would be running in my mind. And when I, by chance, wake up in the middle of the night, even then automatically the mind used to keep singing this mantra. I'm going through wonderful period of my life. I'm enjoying this mandala, they say. So what is it? Japa, repeating again and again and again and again. The Shiva mantra will automatically make the buddhi to stabilize itself in the Shiva consciousness. So that is what it is saying. Here Shankara is exploring and explaining, and he is describing the bhakti in different facets. Here he is showing the bhakti which is having the relationship as lover or husband and wife, which even Andal, Akka Mahadevi and Meerabai, Kshetraya, they all went through this stage. When the peak of bhakti is hit, just before the Sayujya, being one with Ishvara, Shiva, be it woman or the man, irrespective of the gender, that seeker goes through the feeling or experience as the beloved of Ishvara. So they become the Vadhu and experience that Lord as their husband, their lover. Kshetraya has come up with such deep padam the songs. Kshetraya Padas are very famous, in which he has expressed himself as Vadhu. So this is the final stage of the bhakti, where he just surrenders himself to him as lover or beloved, husband, and they become the beloved. Sadbhavana, Smarana, Darshana, Kirtana. These are all very like magnet. They arrest the mind to get involved in Shiva Bhakti. No other thoughts easily come in their mind. Even if other thoughts are coming, very soon the mind will land on Shiva Bhakti. So here we have to understand how Shankaracharya would have felt when he is standing in front of Mallikarjuna. Sadupachara vidhishvanubodhitam savinayam sadhridam sadupashritam mama samudharat buddhimimam prabho varagunena navodhavadhumiva. Now here he is feeling, the seeker is feeling, buddhi is vadhu. My buddhi is vadhu. Shiva, you are the groom, the bridegroom. Sadupachara vidhishu anubodhitam. Buddhi is well trained. It has become expert in doing the upachara, to take care of you, to be in service to you, to attend on you in all possible ways, to serve you as vadhu. Vadhu means the bride. Buddhi is well trained to serve you. Savinayam, and also it is very humble. It is not arrogant. It will not stand next to you face to face. Buddhi is a very nice vadhu. And the buddhi will be savinaya. It is humble. Suhrudam. And it has such wet heart that it is always very beautiful for you to interact with. Suhridam. It is also very friendly. So you can be free with that buddhi. Suhridam. Sadupashritam. And that buddhi has the satsanga. It is always in the company of good people, good ones. These are all the things which the bridegroom side people, when they come to select the vadhu, they look into all these things, whether she knows how to do the daily chores, domestic work, and she should be savinaya. She can't be very arrogant. And sadupashritam, she should be having good people around her, whether she has good company all these days, all these years. They all see it. And suhridam, whether she has a good heart, a reciprocative heart, so that both of them can be friendly to one another. So they see all these things. And because of that, the parents will also train the girl to have all these good qualities in her. So knowing that, even though Shankaracharya is a sannyasi, so well he is explaining Sadupachara vidhishu anubodhitam. She is well trained. That buddhi is well trained. Savinayam suhridam sadupashritam mama samuddhara buddhim imam. Imam mama buddhim samuddhara. Please. Samuddhara means bring this buddhi and protect it under your protection. Imam, this buddhi of mine, which is Vadhu. And Varagunena Navodha Vadhumiva. And by tying the Mangala Sutra, Guna here means that Sutra. Varaguna is Mangala Sutra. By tying the Mangala Sutra around Buddhi, O Shiva, Uddhara, please protect this Buddhi mind. So this is the literal meaning. When we think of it deeply and to apply it to our life, how can we understand it? It is a prayer to uplift the Buddhi, isn't it? And Buddhi is that Vadhu. Karyeshu dasi, karaneshu mantri. This Buddhi is like a girl who is to be married. If she has to be the ideal Vadhu, she has to be Karyeshu dasi. In the chores, what she does, she should be doing it like a servant. Karaneshu mantri. And in work where planning is needed, in that she should work like a minister. Rupecha Lakshmi. She should be like Lakshmi in her Rupa, in the form. Kshamaya Dharitri. And she should be like earth in forgiving. Bhojyeshu Mata. And she should be good in cooking like mother. In taking care of the food aspect, she should be like a mother. Shayaneshu Rambha. And in the bed, she should be like Rambha, the heavenly damsel. Shat Dharma Yukta, with all these 6 qualities, Kula Dharma Patni. Only then she becomes a Kula Patni. Kula Dharma Patni. So, Buddhi, if it has to become that Vadhu to Shiva, who is that Shiva? It is very much the consciousness. If Buddhi is wedded to the mind, certainly the mind will become the husband, take the Buddhi to the outer world and make that Buddhi dance to its tune. If Buddhi becomes the Vadhu to Atma, the consciousness, Shiva, naturally it will have all these qualities, because the very first thought, I want to be the Vadhu of Shiva, comes only when the buddhi is well trained in sadupachara vidhi, in all these things. So serving Shiva is consciousness, and it is good to become Vadhu of Shiva. Buddhi becoming Vadhu of Shiva. Just visualize if each one of us, as I said, irrespective of the gender, man or woman, buddhi is buddhi. If that buddhi is well trained and knotted with Atma, how the Janma would be. And Sadupashritam, here buddhi, Sadupashrita means it is hanging on to the thoughts on Nirakara Nirguna Atma, not the worldly things. So, Sadupashrita means that buddhi is always engaged in the thoughts connected with Atma. So, it is already well trained how to focus on Atma, how to have good thoughts on Atma. It is well trained. Varagunena. One is Mangala Sutra, another one Samudhara Imam Buddhim through Varaguna, by showering the great qualities. Samudhara. So that is also right. When he gives Shiva, Atma gives all the Varaguna. Varaguna means the highest qualities to buddhi. Naturally, that person, that being would be the right Vadhu for Shiva. Nityam yogi mana sarojadala sanchara shamastvakramah shambho tena katham kathorayamaradvakshah kavatakshatihi atyantam mridulam tvadangriyugalam hame manaschintayati etallochana gocharam kuru vibho hastena samvahe. So, Shankaracharya is experiencing another phase of bhakti. When bhakti becomes the main staple food for any seeker or being, their heart will be very easily vibrated by anukampana. They become empathetic. They are able to feel what others are feeling, what Lord would be feeling. So they become empathetic. When they become empathetic, whatever the scriptures or the Puranic stories are there, they are able to bring that vision and feel sympathetic towards the Lord. So their heart would have become very, very soft melted heart. That is what Shankaracharya is feeling here. What is he saying? Nityam yogi manah saroja dala sanchara kshamas tvat kramaha. You are used to roaming around. Nityam yogi manah, in the manas, in the heart of, in the minds of the yogis. And their heart is so soft like the lotus flower. So there you are roaming all the time. And your feet, which are very soft, is appropriate to roam around in such soft, lotus-like mind of yogis. However, Shambho Tena Katham Kathora Yamarat Vakshah Kavata Kshatihi. However, Shambho, how could your feet, which are so soft, could kick the Vaksha, that is the chest of Yamarad, the Lord of Kala, that is Yama, which would have been so hard, Kathora, Kavadakshati. Wouldn't it have been so hard on your feet to open that doors of Yama by kicking it on his chest? Atyantam Rudulam Tvadangri Yugalam, and your lotus feet are so atyanta, too soft. Ha me, ayyo, manaschintayati. My mind really is feeling sad for that. How could you go through that rough interaction with Yamarad, kicking on his chest, which is so hard? My mind is really worried. I feel sad for it. Yetal lochana gocharam kuru, Vibho. You are all pervading. Vibho, you are all pervading. Please become available to these eyes of mine, the physical eyes of mine, so that Hastena Samvahaye, let me press your feet, which must be paining a lot. See how beautiful it is. I want to see your lotus feet even through my physical eyes. Give me your darshana. Give me your lotus feet darshana. How is he asking for that? He's empathetic, and then he's sympathizing, and he's really feeling. So he has visualized Girisha, who is standing in front of him, and he's telling, give me darshana to, not to just this jnana chakshu, come right in front of me. I feel very sad for you. I'm really worried how much it should be paining for you. The soft feet are good only to walk in, roam around in the soft lotus-like mind of yogis, not on hard chest of Yama, Kala. So give me darshana so that I can serve you by samvahaye, by pressing your feet. So what can we understand with this? Just visualize Shiva. When we go deeper into it, Shiva is consciousness, who is Nirakara, Nirguna. If he has to interact with the time factor, it is very hard because time never listens to anyone. It is very stubborn. It keeps going in one direction. So if he has to fight with that Kala, naturally it is a hard thing. Nirakara Nirguna Shiva versus the Kala, which is ruling the whole universe. It is tough. And the interaction between them also would have been very tough. So what is the guidance we are getting from this verse? A seeker should always look for Shiva within, not in the outer world. When we see that Shiva within, the heart will be like the lotus. So, one who is wandering in the yogi and his mind, naturally, to be like a yogi and allow the Shiva to dance in the heart would be really good. But not when we start looking for Shiva, the mind will not cooperate easily. येष जनिं मनोस्य कठिनं तस्मिन्नटानीति मद्रक्षायै गिरिसीम्निकोमल पदन्यास पुराभ्यासितः नो चेत् दिव्यगृहान्तरेषु सुमनस्तल्पेषु वेद्यादिषु प्रायः सस्तु शिलातलेषु नटनं शम्भो किमर्थं तव. So the seeker is feeling somehow or the other, Shiva must be having the knowledge how this being is going to be. So accordingly, he is preparing himself. Yesha tyesha janim. This being, this seeker, he is going to be born. Yesha tyesha janim. This being is going to be born. Manosya katinam. And his mind will be very hard, katina. It is stubborn. It is going to be stubborn because it is filled with ignorance, stubborn ignorance, strong notion. Tasmin nataniti. So I have to dance. in this mind, which is very kathina. Madrakshayai girisimni komala padanyasa purabhyasitaha. So, if I had to dance in this kathina manas, my soft feet would be very painful to dance in this mind, which is hard. So, to get prepared, you have been roaming around in the hard rocks of the mountains. Isn't it? He is asking. Yeshatyesha janim manosya katinam. This being is going to be born with hard mind. And I have to dance in his mind. But with my soft komala padanyasaha, my soft feet, it will be really tough to dance in this mind. So, girisimni purabhyasitaha. So, you must have practiced a lot roaming around in the rocks of the mountain. Noche divya gruhantareshu. If that was not the case, you would have danced with your soft feet in divya gruhantareshu, inside the great palace, mansion, which are divine. In the divine palace, in that you would have danced. Sumanas talpeshu, in the bed, on the bed of flowers, you would have danced. Vedyadishu, on pedestals or on stage, you would have danced. Because prayasastu, there are so many. So probably you would have danced on all these things. Yet, tell me the reason. Shilataleshu natanam shambho kimartham tava. What is the reason for you leaving all these good places to dance? You are going and dancing in that rocky mountain. What is the reason? He is asking. So what does it mean? Yeshatyesha janim. This being will be born. He will attain slowly if Shiva dances in the hard mind. That is the key. He will be born. That is, he will become awakened. He will attain only when manosya katinam tasmin natana. Only when Shiva dances in that hard mind, which is stubborn, ignorant mind, when that Shiva as consciousness dances a lot, it will attain that state, supreme state. So for that, tasmin nataniti madrakshaya. So he could have left. Array, this being, he has such ignorant, stubborn mind. No point in touching him. Let me go to someone else who has already worked and he has become yogi, and let me go and dance in his mind or heart. Shiva is not telling like that. He is dancing in every seeker's mind, in every ignorance mind, every jivatma's mind, knowing that it is kathina manas, with so much of ignorance. So he has to practice a lot. He has to make his feet very strong. Madrakshayai, only to protect me. Oh Shiva, my mind is so hard with so much of ignorance. Knowing that I am going to be born with hard mind, to protect me, to dance in my mind. You are already well prepared by going through roaming in the Rocky Mountains, Kailasa. That is where he dances, which is very, very rocky. Otherwise, if that is not the case, Divya Grihantareshu, the heavenly mansion, the temples, isn't it? There, in any way, the whole ambience is so beautiful, so nice. All the minds which come to the temple are the heavenly mansions. They are positive and beautiful. There it is easy for him to dance. Or Sumanas Talpeshu. Sumana, one who has good mind. If he has to dance in that good-minded person, being, it would be like dancing on the bed, isn't it? Sumaneshu, Sumana Talpeshu, Vedyadishu, on the pedestal or great stage where everything is kept clean, nice. So the dance will be wonderful. But in spite of it, you are engaged in dancing on the Rocky Mountains. What could be the reason? Shiva. The reason is he is Dayamai. He has taken the oath that every Jivatma has to be protected by him, the consciousness. So irrespective of how the Jivatma, how the being is, he is within as consciousness, and he's constantly working. The consciousness is constantly working on all the minds. He's not outside, he's very much within, and he's working. So how thankful we should be for Shiva to be within us and to keep working on me, even though I'm stubbornly ignorant, not showing bhakti. Still he is working, sitting as consciousness. If I put one step forward, the consciousness, he will put another 4 steps to lift me up. Everything is happening within that Daharakasha. So if we see the Tandava, for a very ignorant person, the consciousness, Shiva, when he's dancing within, his life, because the mind and the 5 senses are going outward, but the consciousness is trying to dance heavily and try to bring. So it looks like Rudra Tandava. He goes through so much of turmoil in life. The beginner or the seeker who has understood the need of Shiva in his life, he will go through the Pralaya Tandava, the presence of the dance of Shiva within a seeker, a beginner, he would feel it unbearable. I would say unbearable, because the indriyas are seeing, interacting in the world. The mind is also interacting. He is forced by the outer force. In the sense, because people are interacting with him, he is dragged to the outer world. So in that way, he is going through more difficulties. And Shiva is very kind enough to do the Tandava dance, where every Pralaya Tandava, where the mind will understand and just annihilates itself. Pralaya Tandava in the seeker. So he goes through that turmoil. Rudra Tandava, Pralaya Tandava, which is good. Once that Pralaya Tandava is performed by that consciousness within, whole thing is settled. And he becomes the yogi, where the consciousness, Shiva will be doing the Ananda Tandava. A very pleasant, soft dance, Ananda Tandava, which the yogi will be experiencing. So he is dancing irrespective of what type of the being is. Kanchit kala muma mahesh bhavatha padara vindarchanaihi kanchit dhyana samadhibhischa natibhis kanchit katha karnanaihi kanchit kanchidavikshanaischa notibhis kanchit dashamidrushim yah prapnoti mudatvadarpitamana jivan samuktar khalu. So Shankaracharya is also telling how a Jivan Mukta leads his life. How he is in touch with Shiva, the consciousness, while leading the normal life with all people. Jivan Mukta. What does he do? Kanchit kalam Uma Mahesha Bhavatha Padara Vinda Archanai. Some period of the day, he spends in the Archana to the Padara Vinda, lotus feet of Uma Mahesha. See the combination, Uma and Mahesha. Uma is the whole manifestation. Mahesha, one who is the Lord of the whole universe. Uma. So it is Shivashakti, Pada Aravinda Archana, which he is doing for some time of the day. Kanchit dhyana samadhi bhischa, and some other time is devoted to dhyana, means meditating on, contemplating on having the thoughts on, focusing on Uma Mahesha. Who is Uma Mahesha? What is Uma Mahesha? What is my relationship with him? How can I be very close to him? What am I without that Uma Mahesha? Is it ever possible? All this churning should go as meditation. And then Samadhi, totally annihilating the mind in Shiva and nullifying the mind totally. Nati be in bowing down many times. Kanchit. Katha karananaihi kanchit. And listening to the good stories of Shiva. Why stories of Shiva? Stories about Shiva are the symbol of what actually the Shiva is. It is the tantric way of understanding what the consciousness is. So it is a great contribution by Tantra Shastra. By personifying Shiva, by giving so many episodes as Pauranic Katha. When we hear to that, one can decipher and understand what is the essence, what is the message that story is giving me, how I can adopt it to my life, how can I live it. Kanchit avekshanaischa, looking at, visualizing, seeing through the Jnana Chakshu, or having the form and keep looking at it. That means engaging the five senses in action with Shiva. Nutibhi, that is in singing, in praising about Shiva. Kanchit dashami drishim, by dividing the time in all these activities, having the state of mind getting involved in all these activities throughout the day. Yah prapnoti muda, with joy, with happiness, one should do all these activities. Then he attains the joy, the extreme happiness. Tvadarpita mana, by offering, by surrendering the mind to Shiva, he becomes Jivan Mukta. Sakaruhu. Indeed, he is Jivan Mukta. He gets the joy of doing all these things when he is doing with love towards what he is doing. So that means what? It is not that the whole day get disconnected with the world and disconnect yourself from doing the work or the chores. No, that is not the thing. Make all the chores, all the activities throughout the day, fit those things with the thought of Shiva in it. So they are not two different lives. This is one kind of life where a Jivan Mukta will be sitting and in a place and doing all this puja, vrata, everything. No, that is not the thing. Shankaracharya is taking us one step ahead. Bring that Shiva, throw that Shiva into every action of ours. Through all the five senses, whatever we are doing. Through the mind, whatever we are doing. Through the hands, whatever we are doing. If I keep one stool from here to there, that becomes the archana. If I am doing with knowing that it is the Shiva consciousness which is giving me the brain, the mind, to keep it from this place to this place. And Shakti is also helping me by giving me the strength to lift up, walk all the way, carrying, and then keeping it there. It's not I, the false I, who is doing that job. Shivashakti are doing it through me. So physically, mentally, through five senses, whatever I'm doing is nothing but Shiva Shakti. If we live like that, Sakhalu Jivan Muktaha. He becomes Jivan Mukta because it is not he doing anything. All the 24 hours, it is Shiva Shakti who are doing things through this body, through this mind. So he becomes Jivan Muktaha. Banatvam Vrishabhatvam Ardhavapusha Bharyatvam Aryapati Gonitvam Sakhita Mridangava Bahata Chetyadi Rupam Dadhau Tvatpade Nayanarpanam Cha Kritavan Tvadeha Bhago Hari Pujyat Pujyatarat Sa Evahi Nachet Kova Tadanyodhikaha. This is a beautiful, very strong verse. It is talking about Vishnu, who assumed many hoods. Hoods in the sense, childhood, motherhood, adulthood, or teacherhood, priesthood, hood. That ness. That is called twa. It keeps coming. So Vishnu has assumed so many hoods to serve Shiva, to show his reverence to Shiva, to be with Shiva, to have the company of Shiva. He has done so many things. And Pujyat Pujyatarah Sa Eva Hi. Pujyat Pujyatarah means greatest among all revered ones. Nachet Kova Tadanyo Adhikaha. Who else can be better than Vishnu to show reverence? He is, Vishnu is Pujyat Pujyatara. He should be shown the greatest reverence, Vishnu. Why? Banatvam. He assumed or he became the arrow. He assumed the arrowness. He became the arrow. Vrishabhatva. He also assumed himself to be that Nandi. Ardhavapushaha, Bharyatva. You also assumed the half portion of Shiva, and you also became the wife of Shiva. O Aryapate. Arya here refers to Gauri. Pate is Shiva. O Aryapate, this is what Vishnu did all these things. Ghonitva, he also assumed the form of the boar, the wild boar, Varaha Swami. Sakhita, he also assumed the friendship with you. Mridanga Vahata, he assumed the player as the player of Mridanga for your dance. Chetyadi Rupam Dadhau, and he assumed so many forms. Tvat Pade Nayanarpanam, he also offered his own eye at your feet. Kritavan Tvat Deha Bhago, and he also became part of your body. It is that Hari, it is that Sri Hari, it is that Vishnu who is the most revered than any other revered souls. Who else can be greater than this? So now let us see why he has said all these things. Banatvam. Of course, when Shiva was doing the Tripura Dahana, he made, or I would say, the Mount Meru. It offered itself as the bow, and Hari offered himself as the arrow. So that story we all know. And Vrishabhatvam. It is in the legend that once Shiva was looking for Nandi because he had to go, and Nandi was not anywhere in the vicinity. So Vishnu took that chance and he became the Vrishabha on whom Shiva sat and started moving. Even without telling Nandi, the Vrishabha, where to go, how to go, Nandi started going on its own in the direction where Shiva wanted to go. Then he realized it is not Nandi. It has to be all-knowing Vishnu. So, as thanksgiving, Shiva became Hanuman when Vishnu needed that kind of help. So there is that connection. Vrishabhatvam, Vishnu served as Vrishabha to Shiva. Ardhavapusha Bharyatvam. Gauri in Kailasa, when she went away to incarnate as Kali, Vishnu took the form of Gauri and Shiva took Gauri within him. So from Vaikunta, all the people, all the devatas, they started requesting Vishnu, please you come back, we are all missing you. Then Vishnu said, only when you bring my sister Gauri, who has become Kali, then I will come back. Until then, I'm going to be serving Shiva as Gauri. being within him. That is one legend. Aryapate, Arya is one who is noble, divine. So that is Gauri, who is highly cultured. Arya Pate, that is Shiva. Gonitvam, to find Adi, Vishnu took the form of boar and he dug down to Patala to seek his feet, Shiva's feet. That is when he assumed that Gonitvam. Goni means the boar. Sakhita. And he is good friend of yours. That friendship also he has been retaining. Just imagine. For the manifested form of Shiva, that is activated consciousness, for him to survive as manifested Shiva, he needs the friendship with Vishnu, who is all pervading. Only then it is possible to be the manifested, activated consciousness. In the same way, for Vishnu, who is all pervading, unless he has the company of consciousness in him, it can never work. So both of them are companions and they are working together as friends. Sakhita. Mridanga Vahata Chetyadi Rupam Dadho. And Mridanga Vahata, when Shiva danced in Kailasa, keeping a gem-studded stone, a gem-studded throne for Devi to sit and watch, he started dancing. And different devatas gave different instruments. Lakshmi sang. And Vishnu, to keep up the rhythm, he started playing the mridanga. So, as he kept on dancing, it is said that Vishnu's hands started bleeding, and when Shiva realized he could not stop dancing, at the same time he was feeling sad for Vishnu. But Vishnu said, go ahead, go ahead. It's okay, go ahead. At the end, Shiva asked Vishnu, why didn't you stop? Vishnu said, I didn't want you to stop your dance because of my mridanga being stopped, the rhythm being stopped. That is, Shiva has to keep dancing, but there has to be the rhythm, which is provided by Vishnu, who is all pervading. If that mridanga, the rhythm stops, the whole manifestation will tumble down and it gets annihilated. So to keep that going, the dance of Shiva going on, he gave that mridanga vahata. He kept continuously playing. All others stopped as they got tired, but Vishnu didn't stop at all. Tvatpade nayanarpanam. When Vishnu was offering 1,000 lotus flowers at the feet of Shiva, as puja out of joy, he found that there were only 999 flowers. So he said, in any case, I am addressed as Kamala Lochana. So let me give my eye itself. And he offered his eye to make it 1,000 lotus flowers. So what can we understand with that 1,000 lotus, but one missing, did not complete the padarchana of 1,000 lotus. For water to boil, they say 100 degrees is needed. Even if the temperature is 99.9 degrees, it will not boil. So it has to be 100%. So even our effort or our focus should be 100% to see any result from Shiva as his grace. As bhakta, as seeker, we have to have 1,000. We have to follow, we have to become that Vishnu who followed thorough way of doing the archana. Chakritavan tvad deha bhago harihi. And he is eternally seated in your heart. He has made part of your body as his abode. So, Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu. Vishnoscha Hridayam Shiva. So, Shiva's heart is Vishnu. Vishnu is always there in the heart of Shiva. And Shiva is always there in the heart of Vishnu. So, he has become Kritavan Tvadeha Bhago Harihi. So, even this, we have to follow that Vishnutva. He followed different twas, but we have to follow as the followers of Vishnu to reach out to Shivapada. We have to assume Vishnutva, which he has beautifully shown us in what all ways we can surrender. Janana Mriti Yutana. Okay, the next one. Janana Mriti Yutanam Sevaya Devatanam Na Bhavati Sukhalesha Samshayo Nasti Tatra Ajanimam Mritarupam Sambhamisham Bhajante Ya Iha Paramasaukyam Tehi Dhanya Labhante. Janana Mruti Yutanam Devatanam Sevaya. Devatas who are associated with birth and death. Janana Mruti. Yutanam, they are also having those devatas. Na bhavati sukhalesha. We won't get sukhalesha, even little bit of sukha. Na bhavati sukhalesha. Samshayo nasti tatra. There is no doubt at all. I repeat, Janana Mruti Yutanam Devatanam Sevaya, by worshipping, by adoring, by surrendering to Devatas who are with Janana and Mriti, birth and death. Na bhavati sukhaleshah. There's no one will get sukhalesha, even little bit of sukha. Samshayo nasti tatra. There's no doubt about it. Ajani amrita rupam sambamisham bhajante. When worshipped, adored, followed, sambamisham, sa ambam isham, sambamisham. One who is with Amba, Samba, Isha. One who is worshipping that Sambamisha, who is Ajani, who is not born. Amrita, one who is not, one who doesn't face any death. Amrita, Rupam, that Rupa, that form of Samba Isha. Bhajante, ya iha paramasaukyam, one who worships, meditates upon this Sambamisha in this iha, paramasaukyam tehi dhanya labhante. They get paramasaukya. That is, paramasaukya is the total liberation. Mukti. They get. And they are indeed dhanya. They are worthy. So, what do we mean by this? Where to place that bhakti? Where should we head our bhakti towards? No doubt, Devatanam Sevaya Janana Mruti Yutanam. Why is it so? All the Devatas are able to give the Sukha, which is very temporary and it is limited to the manifested universe, which is the second circle. So, whatever the Sukha they give, it is always laced with sorrow, the opposite. Because we are in Dvaita world, the world of duality. So if they are giving the Sukha, if I am enjoying the Sukha now, I am 100% sure there will be some dukkha somewhere waiting for me in this iha. So even the Sukha they give, even though it is temporary, it is laced with sorrow somewhere around the corner. And also it is limited to this manifested world because they also face that marana and janana according to the pralaya of the whole manifestation. Whereas being in this world, in this manava janma, in this world, whoever worships Samba Misha, Samba is one who is with Shakti, who is activated consciousness. For that activated consciousness, Isha, the Lord of activated consciousness, who is that? It is Parabrahman, the ultimate supreme. So, if one is worshipping that Samba Misha, naturally he will be getting the Paramasaukhya. Paramasaukhya, because he is awakened to his eternal state of existence as that Parabrahma, which is eternal. Sat Atma, which is third circle. So it takes us to that height. It is also understood when I was going through this, contemplating, I could really realize with the analogy which they use in Vedanta. When we are in the ocean side, when we are sitting on the beach, each family will be sitting together and the family will be looking at different kinds of waves coming in the sea or ocean. Let me say ocean. Each wave, when it comes, we get excited, we become so joyous, we enjoy. And when that wave just merges with the rest of the water, we don't find, we won't feel anything. Oh my God, the wave is gone. We won't say that. We will be looking forward for another wave to come in different form. Isn't it? So like that, we enjoy every wave coming to us with the same equal enjoyment, equal involvement in enjoying the wave, isn't it? After a long time enjoying the waves, we just sit and the mind and the eyes go deep into the ocean, to the center of the ocean. And we start enjoying the vastness of the ocean, and the mind is lost. No more the waves are seen, but the mind is seeing the vastness and it is enjoying. What is it enjoying? Something even the mind doesn't know, but it is happily watching. That is what this shloka is driving me into. Each wave is one God. One wave is Ganapati or Ganesha. Oh Ganesha, you are the savior of me. You are Parabrahma. You are Omkara. You are Parabrahman. We say. Another wave. Oh Devi, you are the Parabrahman. You are the savior. I surrender to you alone. Other than you, there is no one else. I enjoy that way. I'm thoroughly involved in enjoying that particular way when it is there. So like that, each God is different waves. We do take the help of these waves. And we are, if you see, every God is said to be the Parabrahman. You are the Parabrahman. You are the only one who can save me. I surrender to you. We surrender like that for every wave in all the stotras, isn't it? To all devatas. But are the waves continuously there eternally like a wave? No. It subsides. as we keep doing the puja after one after another devata, getting the pumped up result, phala, we keep doing more and more pujas of different gods. We do enjoy, we do seek the protection, surrender, and we do see them as Parabrahman. True, we go through that. But later on, as we become more and more deeper into this bhakti path, we realize all the waves are nothing but the water. The vast water is that wave. Vast water is that wave. So the mind goes towards the water, which is consciousness. We realize the waves are beautiful. They are giving me joy. No doubt they are Parabrahman. But they are only the form of Parabrahman which dissolves in the original state of that Parabrahman, which is the vast ocean like water. So, what we can understand in this is, no doubt, one can, one would, one will, and one should pray all the gods as Parabrahman, because the base of all forms of gods is consciousness. Going further, we should not hang on to the wave-like forms of devatas, but proceed further and get concentration on the deep water, vast water, which is consciousness. So, Jananam Mriti Yutanam Sevaya Devatanam Na Bhavati Sukhalesha, which is true. I can't hang on to the wave forever and ever. I'm enjoying, while enjoying itself, it subsides. But it's okay. Another wave will come. So that understanding we should have when we are applying the bhakti. We should keep going further. Shivashakti, 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 Om. Shivashakti, 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 Om. Shivashakti, 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 Om. Shivashakti, 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 Om. Shivashakti, 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 Om.